Dear students, I welcome you all to the 15th session of Histology, Animal Behavior and Applied Zoology paper prescribed by the Mangalore University for 4th semester BSc Zoology. In this session, we shall consider about the social organization in animals. By definition, the animal social behavior is the phenomenon of interactions that occur between two or more individual animals, usually of the same species, when they form simple aggregations, cooperate in sexual and parental behavior, engage in disputes over territory and access to mates, or simply communicate across the space. So that means certain organisms, certain animals in the animal kingdom have developed the unique way of living together in cooperation. And this behavior of animals living in groups is called social organization or social behavior. Now, if some animals live in group, what are all the benefits that they achieve from this kind of behavior? So there is a major benefit of belonging to a group. It gives protection against predators, brings safety, numbers bring safety. Several group members warn each other about the intruder. Cooperative hunting and capturing of prey increase the feeding efficiency of predators. Social grouping protects its members from harsh environmental conditions, like penguins huddling together during cold weather. The members of the social groups help each other for finding mate and rearing of young ones. Many insects have developed social grouping, and these social groups have evolutionary division of labor. Specific individuals in the group perform specialized tasks. So these are all the benefits that the animals can get by living in groups. So as a part of the study of social organization in animals, let us consider one example, the honeybees, which have the remarkable eusociality, where clear division of labor is observed among the individuals of the colony. The social organization of honeybees is established by living of all individuals within the colony, and they show the mutual cooperation among the members of the colony and exhibit the overlapping generations. At least there is a division of labor among the different types of honeybees in the colony or hive. The different forms or types of insects having particular functions live in the colony called castes. So in a honeybee colony, you can see three different castes: the queen bee, the worker bees, and drones. The queens and drones are sexually active and are fertile, hence they are capable of reproduction, while the workers are sterile and their duty is to perform all other functions except reproduction in the colony. The phenomenon of existence of several morphological forms with separate functions in a species is known as polymorphism. Hence, we can consider honeybee as a well-known social as well as a polymorphic insect. If you consider the social structure of honeybees, the social organization of honeybees is characterized by the presence of different castes with a defined function. Thousands of honeybees, ranging from 50,000 to 1 lakh or more, which live in a hive or a colony, there are three different forms. The workers, which are infertile females, the drones, which are fertile males, and the queens, which are fertile females. So you can see here the three different castes, and numerous individuals residing in a single colony. The true social organization, which is called eusociality of honeybees, is well understood in the study of Apis mellifera, which is also called as European honeybees. They live in colonies in hives, and each bee colony includes several thousands of bees, which consists of one queen. Please remember this statement, they only have one queen. Several hundred drones, which are males, and tens and thousands of worker bees. The number of worker bees may range from 50,000 to 80,000 or more. Both queen and workers are female and diploid. Drones are males and haploid. A strong or healthy colony is called when the maximum number of workers is found in the colony. So if a colony is having more number of workers, means it is a healthy colony, a fond colony. Now let us discuss about each caste one by one. A queen bee, generally a single matured queen, is present in each hive. So the central individual, which you can see here, is the queen, surrounding which you can see many worker bees. The size of the queen is nearly 2.5 times longer than that of the workers. And there will be considerable increase in the size of the abdomen because a lot of eggs will be there. So queens are characterized by the long and tapering abdomen. You can see here well proportioned body, short and golden colored wings, and color of the legs. They are around 2.8 times heavier than the worker bees. The queen possesses a curved sting at the tip of the abdomen, which is known as ovipositor. So this, sting of the queen bee is modified to ovipositor. The function of queen is reproduction. Only function of the queen in the colony is to reproduce, to lay eggs. And she lays about 1,000 to 200 eggs, 2,000 eggs every day, depending upon the seasonal variation and seasonal factors. The eggs may be either fertilized or unfertilized. If the eggs are fertilized, then they develop into females, and they become worker bees. If the eggs are unfertilized, then they become males or drones. Now the female lays only one egg in each chamber of the hive. You can see here a single egg is laid in each chamber of the hive. Depending upon the type of food supplied to the newly developed larvae by the nursing workers, the egg may develop either into queen or workers. The drones or males are produced by laying of unfertilized eggs. That means the males develop from parthenogenesis. The queen deposits each egg in a cell prepared by the worker bee. So single egg is laid in the worker bees, which takes around 21 days to develop into a completely functional adult honeybee. After 3 days, the eggs hatch into small larvae, and these larvae are legless and completely dependent upon the worker bees for their food. The larva, which is fed with a special food called royal jelly, you can see here certain cells are filled with a whitish fluid, which is highly proteinaceous in nature, and it is called royal jelly. And you can see small larvae completely immersed in the royal jelly. And those larvae which are fed on this royal jelly becomes the queen of the future. The royal jelly is a high protein rich substance produced by the hypopharyngeal glands of the worker bees. So this is the hypopharyngeal gland of the worker bees, which helps in the synthesis of royal jelly. The larva, which is selected to become queen, is taken before the 3rd day of the development in a special chamber called queen's chamber. The queen lives for 5 to 8 years on an average, and her family fertility decreases with the increase of age. The sting of the queen serves as an ovipositor for laying eggs and also is used as a defense against other intruding queens. The sting is only used when she meets another rival queen. So the protection of the colony is the function of the worker bees. The queen bees use their sting only to fight with the other queens, not with any others. The queen secretes a kind of chemical substance with hormonal properties from the mandibular glands called pheromones, or queen substance, which inhibits the growth of ovaries of workers and control the activities of all bees within the hive. She can attract the workers towards the queen and stimulate the worker to build wax cells for worker bees and drones, but prevents in the building of queen cells. The next caste in the honeybee colony is the drone. The drones are male members of the bee colony and are haploid genetically. They have developed from unfertilized eggs and they take around about 24 days to develop from egg to adult. They have no food collecting organs. They don't have food collecting organs such as pollen basket or sucking mouth part. So the drones are totally dependent on worker bees for food. They feed on the honey during spring and summer months provided by the worker bees and are driven out in autumn from the hive. The main function of the honeybee is to fertilize the queen. They also help to maintain the warmth of the hive, which is necessary for hatching of the egg. Then let us look into the life of a worker bee. The worker bee takes around 22 days to develop from the egg stage to the adult stage. So once if it is hatched into a completely adult individual, the worker bee may live up to 6 weeks. That means 6 to 7 weeks, which means 45 to 50 days. So in this duration, the worker bee performs different functions in the colony. In the very beginning of their life as an adult worker, they start cleaning the cells of the hive. So after 2 days, that means from 22nd to 24 days, that means after hatching, their first day and second day they clean the colony, and from the third day to next 10 days they nurse the young ones with honey and other things. After 32 days their abdominal glands will be developed completely, so they start secreting wax. Hence after 32 days, for around 8 to 10 days, they are indulged in repairing the hive, as well as building the new cells. So after 40 days, their function is to guard the hive from predators and other intruders. So for around 3 to 4 days, they will be indulged in the same work. They will be roaming all around the hive in order to protect the hive. And after 43rd day, until their death, these worker bees go out for foraging, pollen as well as nectar, and the production of honey. So only fully formed adult honeybee workers go out for foraging. So in order to collect pollen grains, the hind limbs of the worker bees have a specialized structure called pollen basket. So you can see here a worker bee collecting the heap of pollens in the pollen basket. And they suck up the nectar from the plants and temporarily stores it in their crop region where it gets mixed with the saliva of the honeybee, and they go back to the colony where they regurgitate this nectar present in their crop in order to produce a highly nutritive fluid called honey. So these are all the diagrams of different glands such as the abdominal glands, the hypopharyngeal glands and salivary glands of the honeybee. So then let us move on to the next example of which we are supposed to study about the social organizations, the termites. Termites, commonly called as white ants, are soft-bodied, social and polymorphic insects, having two pairs of similar deciduous wings and live together forming large communities. The termites, however, are among the most destructive insects so far as man is concerned. In nature, they help in decomposing the dead vegetation and enriching the soil. Though the termites are called white ants, but they are neither completely white in color nor ants. One can easily differentiate these from ants by the absence of constriction or peduncle between the thorax and the abdomen, in addition to some other morphological and behavioral characteristics. Basically, termite community includes two forms. The reproductive castes are reproductive forms and sterile forms are sterile castes. The reproductive forms, there are three types of fertile males and females in termites, but in sterile forms there are only two types. They are wingless and sterile, and both males and females are present in these sterile forms. So let us first study about the winged forms as well as the fertile forms. So there are three fertile castes in termites: the Macropterus are large winged forms, the Brachypterus small winged forms, and Apterus, that means the fertile individuals without wings. Macropterus or winged forms are first reproductive caste that are sexually perfect males and females, and they are the ancestors of the community from which the other forms have been derived. They have two pairs of large equal sized wings, as you can see here, which project beyond the abdomen at rest. So they are almost twice the length of their abdomen in size. And the body is chitinized and dark brown. The body of the Macropterus is chitinized, highly chitinized, and as well as it is dark brown in color, and composed of compound eyes which are very well developed. You can see here a very well developed, highly advanced compound eye. There's a pair of ocelli. The brain and sex organs are larger than in other groups of the other individuals of the colony. Males and females leave the nest, lead a brief aerial life, shed their wings at the basal structures, Then they come together in pairs and mate, after which they find a place for a new nest. Each pair is a king and queen or primary royal pair. They have stumps of shed wings. Kings and queens are permanently associated. They are monogamous. The queen becomes large by growth of its abdomen. Now they are originators of the new colony. Brachypterous forms or short-winged forms are the second reproductive caste that are sexually mature males and females, but they are nymphal in appearance. They have short wing buds only. Body is less chitinized and pale colored. Compound eyes are not dark. Brain and sex organs are smaller in these structures. They are subterranean in nature and they do not leave the nest. If the primary king or queen dies, its place is taken by brachypterous individuals, forming substitute or complemental king or queen. Such queens produce fewer eggs. There may be several substitute kings and queens in one nest, and they are polygamous. So brachypterous are polygamous, while macropterous are monogamous. The third reproductive forms are apterous or wingless forms. Look like nymphal workers. They have no wings, cuticle is colorless, compound eyes are vestigial, and ocelli are absent. They have both males and females. Apterous forms are rare, found only in lower termites, example Eucotermis. They are known as ergotid kings and queens, and they may be several. So their exact function is still not known, but they will be there in the colony. And in this picture you can see a royal pair, king and queen. The queen with a exaggerated abdomen and a king along with. So this is the royal pair of the colony. In all three reproductive castes, there is a remarkable post-embryonic growth, especially in the female. The fertilized female develops into queen, which is around 5 to 7.5 centimeters in long. Look at the length of this animal. The increase in size is due to enlargement of abdomen only. The other body parts remain as such, only the abdomen increase in size. The head and thorax remain normal. The terga and sterna of the abdomen do not grow, but the pleural membranes expand tremendously. This is due to an increase in the size of the ovaries and fat bodies, so that the queen becomes large, inert and egg-laying individual. So the only duty of the queen is to lay eggs. It becomes too large that it cannot move on its own. If it has to move, then workers must carry this from one place to another place. The queen formed from the macropterous female is the largest. The queen lives for around 6 to 15 years and lays millions of eggs in its life. It was once believed that the destruction of the queen would ultimately kill out the community, but this is not so, because brachypterous or apterous queens will form and continue the community. The next group of individuals present in the termites colony is the sterile workers. So these workers are apterous, that means no wings, and are sterile males and females in which sex organs have atrophied and are non-functional. Atrophied means they are degenerating and they are not functional. A worker has its integument very little chitinized and body is pale colored. It looks like a nymph. Head is wide, pointing downwards. Compound eyes are absent, so they are almost blind. And in some species, ocelli are also absent. Workers may be dimorphic. In one, the head and mandibles are larger than the other forms. In some workers, they are trimorphic with small, intermediate and large sized individuals. Example, Termis. Termis is the genus of the termites. The number of workers in a community is very large. Tens and thousands of Workers will be there, and with an exception of reproduction and defense, they perform all duties. So they do not perform defense. There is no reproduction for them, except that all other duties, looking after the eggs, caring for the young ones, finding the food, planting and cultivating the fungus in the fungal gardens of the colonies, making the nest, feeding the queen and other soldiers, all other functions will be performed by the worker termites of the colony. They also lick and groom each other because of their gnawing habit. The workers destroy crops, wood and human belongings and cause tremendous loss to the man. So one more very important uh, caste of the termite colony is the sterile soldiers. These sterile soldiers are apterous males, they do not possess any kind of wings, and females with no sex organs, they completely lack the sex organs. A soldier has a large chitinous head. You can see here the head is too strong, highly chitinized, and a big mandibles and color is pale. You can see the mandibles here. Mandibles are so strong and highly developed, and they are very big. There are two kinds of soldiers. The mandibulate soldiers, which have a large, powerful mandibles, but rostrum is absent. You can see here these soldiers possess strong mandibles but no rostrum. But there is a second kind of soldier called Nauset soldier, which have a small rostrum. Here, look at this third photograph. Over the head there is a rostrum, and on either side there is two small mandibles, right? So this is the Nauset soldier, and the duty of the soldiers is to defend the community using their mandibles. So here the mandibulate soldiers defend the community, defend their colony by their strong mandibles, whereas the Nauset soldiers ooze out some viscid repellent fluid through their frontal rostrum. Through this rostrum they ooze out, they spray out some fluid that can deter the intruders. At times soldiers plug the burrows with their heads. So sometimes even the soldiers will plug their heads with the burrows so that the intruders cannot enter into their colony. So how a new colony is formed? So after nuptial flights, during certain mating season, the Macropterus individuals come out of the colony. They simply fly in a flight called nuptial flight. After a few minutes of flight, they lose their wings. Once they lose their wings, a Macropterus, male and female, mate together, form a king and queen of the colony, and all the progenies of the colony will develop from the eggs laid by this queen. And immediately after nuptial flight, there will be a remarkable development in the abdomen of the queen bee. As you can see here, the small head and thorax, but a very large abdomen. The queen undergoes drastic modifications, attaining size nearly 20 to 30,000 times larger than the worker bees. So look at the small worker bee, but the queen becomes very, very large. The head and thorax reduced to a large extent. So head and thorax is almost reduced, or it will be same as the adult one, but abdomen increases very large. The entire body of the termite appears to be made of abdomen only. You can see in this photograph here. It becomes an egg-laying individual, egg-laying machine. On an average, it lays nearly 4,000 eggs in a day and 1,000,000 eggs in its lifetime. And the power of fecundity, the egg-laying capacity of the queen ceases. It dies and devoured by the other members of the colony. The king, however, undergoes less remarkable change. His body gets inflated due to the well-fed condition but inert life. So the king has no other function except uh, reproduction. So due to his inert life, gradually his body gets inflated as well. So for any further information regarding social insects and their social behavior, you can refer these textbooks. Thank you.